In a land filled with ancient drums, sacred forests, and the whispers of strong beliefs of the gods, there stood the mighty kingdom of Oyo, deep in the heart of the southwestern part of Nigeria. That year, the rainy season started early. The skies over Oyo were dark and heavy, full of rain and the smell of thunder. The rivers overflowed, and small paths turned into fast-running streams. Farmers complained as the rain destroyed their yam farms. Market women tried to save their goods under leaking thatched roofs. In the middle of all this trouble, something strange happened at the village crossroads. Mama Titi was coming back from the market, tired and slow. Her basket that was full of akara in the morning was now empty. Only a few dirty coins made noise at the bottom. Her old wrapper stuck to her body, wet from the fine rain falling everywhere. As she walked, she was quietly praying under her breath. "Orisha, please save me from today's wahala." Then she heard it. It was not the sound of rain or wind or frogs. It was a cry, small and sharp, cutting through the mist like a knife. Mama Titi stopped. Her heart jumped. At first, she thought it was spirits playing tricks. Everyone knew that the crossroads was not an ordinary place. It was where the living and the spirit world sometimes met. But the cry came again, and this time it touched something deep inside her, something she thought had died long ago. Without even thinking, her legs started moving. Her slippers made squishing sounds in the mud as she moved forward. Then she saw it. In the middle of the four roads, lying on a big stone, was a small bundle. It was wrapped in royal blue and gold cloth, colors only the king's family was allowed to wear. Even in the weak moonlight, the cloth shined softly. Strange symbols were stitched on it, and they seemed to move slightly, like they were alive. Mama Titi gasped and stepped back quickly. She knew enough old stories to understand that a child left at the crossroads was no ordinary child. It could either be a great blessing or serious trouble. The bundle moved a little. A tiny fist pushed through the cloth. The baby's round face squeezed up against the cold air. Mama Titi looked up at the sky. Thunder rumbled like an angry king. Lightning flashed, and in that short light, she thought she saw shadows hiding among the trees, eyes shining like wet stones. Fear gripped her chest. She almost ran away, but something, maybe madness, maybe mercy, kept her standing there. Slowly, with her hands shaking, she moved closer and lifted the baby into her arms. The moment she touched him, it was as if the world took a deep breath and calmed down. The rain became light mist. The wind became quiet. The shadows disappeared back into the trees. The baby was light in her arms, but the feeling of him was heavy on her heart. He looked up at her with wide, ancient eyes, eyes too wise for a baby. She hugged him tightly, feeling his small heartbeat against her chest. "Aremu," she whispered, not knowing where the name came from. "You will be called Aremu, the one who brings comfort." She pulled her worn shawl around both of them, and began walking home to her small mud house by the market. Behind her, the stone slab at the crossroads cracked into two, shaking the ground softly. But Mama Titi did not look back. Some doors, once you open them, can never be closed. Mama Titi's house stood at the edge of the market. It was so small that if a man stretched out his two hands, he could touch both walls at once. The roof sagged under the weight of old palm leaves, patched here and there with broken calabash and goat skin. Smoke from the cooking fire rose through a hole in the roof, carrying the smell of roasted yam and bitter herbs. Inside that small house, Mama Titi cared for the boy she had named Aremu. Her hands, rough and hard from many years of grinding beans and tending fires, moved softly as she carried him. She will always sing old songs in a low voice, songs her mother had taught her when she was still young and full of dreams. Each time she rocked Aremu to sleep, her mind traveled back to her own past. Once, she had been called Titi the Beautiful. Her skin had shone like polished ebony, her eyes as bright as new cowries. Men came from far villages to beg for her hand. Warriors sang her praises. Merchants brought fine clothes and coral necklaces just to win her smile. But beauty, Mama Titi knew, did not last forever. Her husband, Adetokunbo the hunter, had been a brave and loving man. His laughter could shake the trees. When he danced at the New Yam festival, even the wives of the Oba peeped from behind their fans to admire him. They had dreamed of raising many children, noisy boys and lively girls who would grow up strong and make them proud. But the gods had all the plans. First, sickness came to the village and carried away two of their little sons. Later, during a raid from warriors of Igbo Ora, Adetokunbo was killed. They cut off his head as a trophy and left his body to rot in the enemy's bush. Grief broke Titi. Though she was still young, sorrow aged her quickly. The sparkle left her eyes. The suitors stopped coming. Her friends only whispered about her from far away, so she built a simple life for herself by selling akara in the market, sleeping on a worn mat, fetching water from the stream, holding on to the strength to survive each day. Nobody asked about her dreams anymore. She stopped speaking of them too. Until Aremu came, this child, born of mystery, wrapped in forbidden royal colors, left at the meeting point of life and death, lit a small flame inside her heart once more. Mama Titi smiled as she felt him shift gently against her chest. He was strong already. His small fingers gripped her wrapper with surprising power. His black eyes watched everything, sharp and curious. "You will not be a common man," she whispered. But even as she said it, fear pulled at her heart. She remembered the way the lightning danced too wildly that night, the way the stone at the crossroads cracked open, the cloth, blue and gold, no ordinary person dared to touch it. And she knew the laws of Oyo well. Pretending to be royal meant death. Hiding a royal child meant death. Loving and raising him meant even greater trouble, the wrath of the king and the anger of the gods. Mama Titi knew all of this, but when she looked into Aremu's face, she did not care. She would hide him, she would protect him, she would bury the truth so deep that even the oracle would not find it. If the gods demanded a price from her, she would pay. She had nothing else left to lose. Her life was already a loan borrowed from sorrow. She was ready to risk everything for this boy. That night, while the village slept and the Oba's palace celebrated some festival she no longer cared about, Mama Titi carried Aremu to the river. Under the heavy branches of a silk cotton tree, she knelt by the water's edge. She held the baby close against her chest. From inside her wrapper, she brought out a small knife, the last gift Adetokunbo had given her. She pricked her thumb, and a drop of blood welled up. She smeared it gently across Aremu's forehead, speaking words older than any king. I claim you, little river, bone of my bone, spirit of my spirit. Through my eyes, the gods shall see you. May your enemies pass you by like smoke from the cooking fire. The river moved slightly, though there was no wind. Far inside the forest, an owl hooted, not in warning, but in agreement. Mama Titi smiled. Aremu was now her son, in the eyes of the gods, even if not in the eyes of men. She would raise him as an ordinary boy, a child of dust and dreams, never knowing that inside his veins flowed the blood of kings, the fire of his ancestors, and the destiny of a dying empire. At first, nobody noticed the boy. To the people of Oyo, he was just another market child, one of those many small barefoot boys that ran errands, chased goats, and shouted themselves hoarse playing wrestling games in the dust. Aremu blended well. He wore torn clothes like the others. He carried firewood on his head, fetched water from the stream, and helped Mama Titi grind beans for akara. He laughed when others laughed. He fought when pushed. He worked when told. But little by little, small things started to show. When Aremu spoke, his words carried weight, even when he didn't mean to. When he played with the other children, somehow, they always made him their leader. When he stood still, even the elders passing by would pause and glance at him twice, as if something about him tickled their memory. Old Mama Kikelewu, who sold pepper and palm oil at the end of the market square, was the first to open her mouth. One afternoon, as she wiped sweat from her face with the edge of her wrapper, she pointed her crooked finger at Aremu and said, loud enough for all to hear, "That boy no be ordinary boy, I dey talkam. See, as him dey waka like king pikin." The other women laughed at first. "Which king pikin? Go dey roast on the hot sun, dey hawk akara," one said, shaking her head. But Mama Kikelewu didn't smile. She spat to the side and whispered, "Nah, so them dey hide am. Kingdom matter, they carry long story." From that day, small rumors began to move like ants after rain. Soft murmurs at the market stalls, quick glances from traders, quiet discussions under mango trees. Mama Titi no born that boy. Who dasham pikin? You don't see that mark for him back, like crescent moon, Them say the child of the true king will return. Mama Titi heard everything. She pretended not to. She tightened her wrapper and carried her basket proudly through the market. But inside her chest, fear was growing like wildfire in Harmattan. At night, after Aremu had slept, she would sit by the fire, staring into the red coals, thinking. She knew Oyo people well. They loved gossip more than they loved yam pottage. If the wrong ear heard the wrong thing, the palace soldiers would come. Chiefs would come. And not to bless her, no, but to carry her away and wipe her mouth forever. But what could she do? She could not throw Aremu away. She could not silence the stars that shined inside him. She could only pray. Orisha, cover this boy with your cloth. Blind the eyes of his enemies. Let him grow like yam, hidden under bush. And she prayed hard. But even the thickest bush cannot hide the scent of ripe fruit forever. It was a market day. The square was noisy with shouting traders, beating drums, and the smell of roasted corn and smoked fish. Aremu, now about 10 years old, helped Mama Titi as usual. He balanced a tray of hot akara on his head and weaved through the crowd, like a small river through stones. But that day, something strange happened. As he passed the shrine of Eshu Elegbara, the trickster god who watched the crossroads, the priest sitting by the shrine jumped up. He stared at Aremu hard. His cowrie shells spilled from his mat as if pushed by an unseen hand. "Who born this boy?" the priest shouted, his voice cutting through the noise of the market like cutlass through palm frond. "Who carry royalty for ordinary cloth?" The whole market froze. You could hear a lizard drop from a tree. Mama Titi, standing far away, dropped her basket. Her heart nearly jumped out from her mouth. The priest, a small, wiry man with white chalk all over his face, began to dance in a frenzy, speaking strange tongues. He pointed again at Aremu, who stood still, confused and frightened. "This boy carried the head of kings," the priest cried. "This boy, they carry the crown for spirit world. The blood of the Oba, they run for him body." People began to murmur, some crossing themselves, some backing away. The market had seen many madmen before, but they had also seen prophets. And in Oyo, nobody played with prophecy. Mama Titi rushed forward, grabbing Aremu's hand. "Come, come," she hissed, pulling him away before more eyes could see too much. They ran, dust flying behind them, hearts beating like talking drums, but the whispers followed them, soft like the feet of hunters in the bush. Danger had woken from its sleep, and it would not go back easily. That night, Mama Titi could not sleep. She sat by the cooking fire, her wrapper pulled tight around her shoulders, staring into the weak flames. The priest's words from the market still rang inside her head like a bell refusing to stop. "This boy carried the head of kings." She looked at Aremu, who was lying quietly on the mat, breathing softly, unaware of the storm gathering around him. Mama Titi sighed deeply. She knew that if she stayed in Oyo, trouble would surely come. And when trouble came, it would not knock politely. It would kick down the door and carry them away. But where would she run to? How could she hide what the gods themselves had already pointed out? As she sat thinking, a strange wind entered the hut, a cold breeze that smelled of the deep forest and ancient rivers. The fire flickered. The shadows on the wall began to dance like living things. Then she heard it. A voice, soft, like the whisper of silk, but clear. Let the boy come to the grove. Mama Titi froze. She looked around, but there was no one. Only Aremu, still sleeping peacefully. Her heart beat fast. She knew that voice did not come from any man or woman. It was a call from the spirit world. She shook Aremu gently. "My son, wake up. You must go." Aremu rubbed his eyes and sat up. "Go where, Mama?" "To the grove," she said, voice shaking. "Something they wait for you." The boy looked at her, confused, but he trusted her. Since the day he could walk, Mama Titi had been his guide, his rock. If she said he must go, then he must go. Without another word, he got up and followed her out into the night. The village was quiet, except for the sound of crickets and the distant beating of drums from some faraway festival. Mama Titi led Aremu past the sleeping market, past the silent compounds, past the shrine of Eshu, where the priest had shouted in the day. They walked until they reached the edge of the forest, the sacred grove, where no one entered at night, except the brave or the foolish. Tall trees stood like silent guards. The moonlight barely touched the ground. Strange sounds moved through the darkness. The calls of night animals, the rustling of unseen wings. Mama Titi stopped at the edge. "You must go alone," she said. "Whatever you see, no shout, no run. Open your eyes and your ears. Your spirit go guide you." Aremu wanted to ask questions, but something bigger than fear held his mouth shut. He nodded. With a deep breath, he stepped into the grove. The air inside was thick and heavy, like stepping underwater. Every step he took made the earth sigh. The trees seemed to lean closer, as if listening to his heartbeat. He walked and walked deeper into the forest until he reached a clearing. There, in the middle, stood a giant Iroko tree, older than the village itself, older than the kingdom, maybe even older than time. At the foot of the tree sat a figure, neither man nor woman, neither young nor old. The figure was clothed in white cloth that shimmered like river water in the moonlight. Its eyes glowed, soft but deep, like the center of a sacred drum. Aremu dropped to his knees immediately, sensing the greatness before him. The figure spoke, and the voice was not loud, yet it filled every corner of the grove. "Aremu, son of the fallen king, blood of the first Oba, child of destiny." Aremu's mouth opened in shock. I no understand," he stammered. The spirit smiled, a sad, knowing smile. "You were born to wear the crown of Oyo. Your bloodline no day broken. Your enemies tried to scatter you like dry leaves, but the river always finds its path." Aremu shook his head. But I be common boy. I dey hawk akara. I dey carry firewood. I no even sabi big man wahala. The spirit laughed, a sound like rain falling softly on leaves. Great rivers begin as small streams, Aremu. A king's heart. No day inside crown. A day inside the way him carrying people. Aremu felt something move inside his chest. A strange warmth. A deep knowing. He didn't understand everything, but he understood enough. The spirit stretched out a hand. In the palm rested a small carved stone, shaped like a crown, marked with ancient signs. Take, the spirit said. When the time reach, this goal lead you. With trembling hands, Aremu accepted the stone. The moment his fingers closed around it, the grove changed. The trees seemed to sigh in relief. The air became lighter. The darkness no longer felt frightening. The spirit stood and began to fade into the mist. Remember, child of dust and crown, you go face betrayal. You go walk road of sorrow. But your destiny, they sure like the rising sun. Fear not. And with that, the spirit was gone. Only the whisper of leaves remained. Aremu walked back to Mama Titi, the stone clutched tight in his palm. She saw his face and knew immediately. Something had shifted. Something had woken. She hugged him close, breathing in his scent, her tears wetting his hair. You go be king, my son, she whispered. Even if world no ready, even if wahala full ground, you go be king. And deep inside him, Aremu believed it too. The boy who had carried firewood would one day carry a crown. But the road ahead would not be easy. Storms were coming, enemies were gathering, and the kingdom itself was waiting for the prince who did not know he was a prince until now. Days passed, but Aremu could not forget what happened that night in the grove. The small stone the spirit gave him never left his side. He tied it with a piece of old cloth and wore it around his neck, hidden under his shirt. Every time he touched it, he felt a strange peace, like river water washing over his fears. Mama Titi watched him closely. She noticed the way he moved now, like somebody who had seen what others had not seen. He was still the same boy, but something inside him had changed. One evening, after selling all their akara and washing the dirty pots, Mama Titi called him inside. She closed the door tight and sat him down on the mat. "My son," she began, her voice low like wind whispering through palm trees, "there be something which you suppose know." Aremu looked up, his young face serious. Mama Titi untied the top part of his wrapper, exposing his left shoulder. She pointed to a small birthmark, a crescent moon shape just above his shoulder blade. "You see this thing?" she said. Aremu nodded. He had always known it was there, but he thought it was just ordinary. Mama Titi shook her head. "No be ordinary, na royal mark. Only the blood of the Oba they born with only kings and their children get this kind sign." Aremu's mouth hung open. "Mama, you dey serious?" "I dey tell you as them tell me," she said. Now why I hide you? Now why spirits they watch you? Now why priests shout for market that day? Because your blood no be common. She reached into a small wooden box and brought out a piece of faded cloth. It was the same royal blue and gold cloth Aremu had been wrapped in the night she found him. She spread it before him. The cloth still carried its old glory. Patterns of lions, moons, and crowns woven carefully into it, now faded, but still strong. This cloth, Mama Titi said, nah, from the palace. The night where the kingdom scatter, when the king die without warning, them carry you run. Some people loyal to the king hide you before wicked men fit kill you. Aremu's head was spinning. But mama, me, a prince, I dey hawk akara, I dey sleep for floor, I dey sweep market square. Mama Titi smiled sadly. Destiny no dey ask where you sleep. Destiny dey wait until time reach. She cupped his face in her hands, rough but warm. You go rise one day, Aremu. Whether you like am or you know like am, you go rise. Because river no fit deny him source. Tears filled Aremu's eyes. He did not feel like a prince. He felt small, lost, afraid. But inside him, something stronger than fear was waking up. Something deep, like thunder waiting in the cloud. From that day, Aremu began to notice things. Some of the traders in the market started treating him differently. Some smiled too much. Some watched him too closely. Some whispered whenever he passed. He noticed strange men wearing fine wrappers moving through the market, asking quiet questions, paying for palm wine they didn't even drink. One evening, Mama Titi caught a man standing by their hut, pretending to buy akara, but looking too long at Aremu. She knew at once. They don't hear rumors, she whispered to herself that night. They find Am. In Oyo, lost royal blood was dangerous blood. Chiefs who wanted power, enemies of the old king, even the new Oba sitting on the shaky throne. All of them would want Aremu dead if they knew he lived. To them, he was not a boy. He was a threat, a river, waiting to flood their power. Mama Titi packed their few things quickly. We must move, she told Aremu, her voice sharp with fear. Before Wahala come for this house. But where we go, Mama? She tied the royal cloth tight inside her wrapper. We go follow river, go deep bush, find safety among people where know they dance for palace drums. Aremu nodded. He was ready. Even though fear wrapped around his heart like python, he was ready. Because now, he knew who he was. Not just Aremu the market boy, not just Aremu the akara seller. He was Aremu, son of kings, and the world would soon remember.
Hello, did you enjoy the video you just watched? If you enjoyed the video you just watched, click on the subscribe button and also click on the like button, and possibly you can also share with family and friends, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you always get notified whenever we upload a new video. Thank you and see you on the next one. Cheers.